I told Ting Ting that I'm sometimes a little racist because I'm trying to get under your skin, but...
You trying to get under my skin? Alright, hopefully the click track is not in the audio. But anyway,
okay.
Yeah, this is the Taubnernaut Podcast.
Hello, everyone.
How things going? Oh, where did my phone go? Oh, did it? Alright, whatever, I'll find it later. So, what's on your mind?
I don't know. We just had like a whirlwind of like 6 or 7 conversations that could have been great on this. Now we got to figure out what's left to talk about. What have we talked about today?
What do you want to do first? Do you want to talk about music? Do you want to talk about
Let's talk about music. I'd like to talk about music, and we don't have to talk about it for a long time, but we should talk about music first. I think, like, what are you listening to lately, actually, is what I'm curious about.
Oh, that's a good question. What have I been
Do you even have time to listen to music?
Yeah, I do. I do listen to music so often. Like, I don't have a job anymore where I can just listen to stuff.
Yeah.
So, the amount of podcasts and music I'm listening to has been gone down dramatically.
I found these 2 bands. One's called Void Keeper, and it's kind of like a straight ahead kind of like doom band. I hope I'm characterizing that correctly. And then there's also this band called Existence Dysphoria, and they're kind of like a death metal / black metal / doom / this that, but the vocals are very black metal and the riffs are really heavy. I should just be shooting this music over to you that I'm listening to.
Yeah, you can do that. You can just send it to me.
Yeah, because it'd be fun to get those guys out on a podcast one day. So, but what's been on my mind? Nothing's been on my mind at all. I've been fucking alone in my... Well, no.
What?
You say that I always give too many details about my life, so
Yeah.
So I guess I'll skip that part.
Alright, let's see. Yeah, we're going to talk about music. Yeah, so right now, we kind of been like put a hold on like recording music.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently practicing music whenever we can find time to get together, and we're planning on like going to a open mic. So there is a local open mic. There's a one on Wednesday and there's one on Tuesday. I think the one on Wednesday will be easier to go to.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I was thinking about going to the one on Tuesday, but there's no way we're gonna make that. Like, I get off work. Like, I might have to work into like, cause I have a job where like a lot of times I get off early, but it's not guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
So I'm scheduled to work until 5 p.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I'm also scheduled to work at 10:30 p.m. at a different job.
You should just say peace out and leave.
I can't do that.
Listen, I did that once, and it worked. Like the
well, you don't have a job, so I think it worked out too well.
No, you idiot. I know I don't have a job, but but what I'm saying is that fuck. Now I don't know what I'm saying, but it doesn't matter anyway. I think there's more points. Oh yeah.
What was your point?
I don't know what I was talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't
Why is that
walk.
a surprise to you?
I can't just like walk out off my job, man.
Oh, okay. I was at this shitty place. They did shitty work. It was sketchy as hell. Children were involved because they were the students. And I hated it. I hated my life. I hated everything about it. And so I fucking just left. Then I came back the next day. You're supposed to be in at 8. I come in at 9.
Right.
So I just keep coming in at 9. Next thing you know, I'm coming in at 9 and leaving a half hour early for 6 months.
Okay.
Because although these were really stupid people, they're very social. They're very like catty and manipulative and whatever. So I manipulated them into not caring whether or not I was there or not, you know? And the fucking irony of it was that I was the best one there. Like I knew the most about what we were dealing with, and I had the most leadership skills.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how in depth you want to go, but like, what did this company do? Like, what
They worked with 3 to 5 year old autistic children.
Oh, okay.
Autistic children ranging from completely disabled, like can't talk, can't do anything, to some who have like basic verbal skills and will probably, as they develop through life, kind of blend in, and no one will even know they're autistic, but they are. So there's different outcomes that can happen. But it's a serious job because you're dealing with people. And I worked at a company that did a great job. Everyone in it cared, and they cared about the children, and that was cool to me. I had a bipolar manic episode with delusions, and I ended up getting fired from that job, unfortunately. But I went to this other place that's supposed to be doing what that company does, and they just didn't do it. Everyone was just in their cozy little money they make every year. They didn't want to try to better anyone's life. So I thought it was fucked. So I was like, I'll come in when I want, and if so and so, I mean the director has a problem, she can go fuck herself because she knows me and she likes me. So. So anyway, that was way back when, though. That was like a 2010 to 2013, or 2014, actually. And then I moved to Cincinnati. Oh, they know I'm from Cincinnati.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah. I'm always confused as to whether I should say shit or not. I'm not as good at this as... I'm not as good at this as Nathan.
Yeah, because there's a part of the internet where...
Yeah.
People are like doxing each other. People are trying to cancel each other. Keep your mic to your mouth, man.
I'm not talking, man.
Yeah, but you're gonna start talking. Your mic is not gonna be in your mouth. But anyway,
he's so concerned about the mic being out my mouth.
Well, we're on a podcast where people need to hear each other.
Okay, I get it.
We need to hear what you're saying, and they can't do that if it's not.
I want to be sitting at a table like.
Then get a table, man.
Yeah, you're right. You keep saying that. Yeah.
On that.
Yeah. Because it's more money, and I have to tell my wife that listen, the band needs more money, and she's reluctant to give us more.
How much could it possibly cost to get a table?
$100 to $200 probably.
I'm sure you can get one for like maybe $80, like a little plastic.
It depends how. Well, I would like to get a nice proper table here in the middle. So it may be a good time to buy one. Actually, I gotta talk it over with Ting Ting. Ting Ting will have a good idea. When is that?
What was I saying? Oh man, I lost track of what I was saying. Oh no. We're talking about work.
We were talking about my fucking long story about working for autistic kids.
I remember what I was gonna say. All right. So like there are parts of the internet where like you say the wrong thing, people are gonna come after you. You can get doxxed. They'll like try to find out where you work. They'll try to get you fired.
What's doxxed?
Doxxed is basically when they find your personal information, like your full name, your address, your home address, your work address, all that stuff, and they'll like release it to the they'll put it in a public place online.
Right.
That's doxing. And a lot of times they do that to like intimidate people. So like if let's say you say something that people don't, I could swear we've been over this already on the podcast, but like,
no, we
let's
didn't.
say you say something about the new Supreme Court decision. It doesn't matter which decision it was, just you say something about it, and one side or the other gets pissed off until like, they find out like where you live, they find your real name, your full name. And then they post it online.
Yeah.
So the idea is like people can easily know where you live, and they can do something. And like
my brother is very concerned about this as well.
Yeah.
He always tells me about this because once I tried to get a Reddit account, which I don't use anymore because I didn't really like Reddit. But I used the name of our band, and I might have even used my real name. And he's like, whoa, first of all, you can't be using your real name. And he's like, second of all, he didn't say anything, but what I was going to say was that I kind of just put up a post about our band or something.
Uh-huh.
They fucking were pissed. They're like, why are you posting your band in here? Blah, blah, blah. They're very strict about posts because I guess they get a lot of solicitation from new bands.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I don't need to do Reddit. That's cool. But those motherfuckers are really, they're very gung-ho about that, about Reddit, They really...
Yeah, and where I was going was, there are other, like, parts of the internet where, like the whole, like, gun control and gun rights debate thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I follow a number of YouTube channels where they talk about guns and whatnot, and I don't remember them ever talking on their podcast. I don't remember them ever talking about, doxing or anything. They've had their own drama, but I don't remember anyone talking about, like, worried about being doxed. There are plenty of them who openly use their real name.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't, for some reason in that part of the internet, it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. But, like, all these other topics where, like, people are talking about, I don't know if you want to call them, like, social justice warriors or progressives, whatever you want to call them, like, people on, like, either side of the issue, they talk about that stuff. They make a YouTube channel and, like, they, like, obscure their face, obscure their name, they have, like, pseudonym that they use, and then, like, people will, like, go after them and try to find their credit card information,
their money,
where they live, where they work, and all that stuff. I remember this guy named, this is before they actually, like, had before he came out under his real name, but he went by Armored Skeptic. And, like, he was like, he got into this argument online about whether or not drunken sex equals rape.
Right.
And then, like, I think a few days later after that argument, at work, his boss walks up to him and was like, what's this about you being a rapist?
What? To you?
No, not to me. This is Armored Skeptic. That's what his boss says to him.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember how he
was
responded.
he?
No, like, it was just like, somebody didn't like what he had to say about drunken sex, and so they doxed him and they called his work in order to attempt to get him fired.
Oh my God, that's just fucking ridiculous shit. It's because in public high school, the rejects all feel like rejects until they graduate,
mm-hmm.
and they don't get any of the attention that some more affluent people get. And then next thing you know, you have some crazy person who's very smart, who has a huge grudge with people, with anybody, with the world, and they go out doing this shit. It's crazy. I'm not sure if there's a causal connection to that. Maybe it may just be a correlation, but
I don't have the facts to back this up.
I don't have the facts to back this up, but I am licensed as what's my license in? Oh, in insurance sales, and I have a license in.
Wait, you have a license in insurance sales?
Yeah, I used to.
Dude,
I think.
You used to sell what kind of insurance? Car insurance?
No, life insurance.
Life insurance.
No. What? No, I'm sorry. Sorry. It's medical insurance.
Medical. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like insurance, like, it encourages the company to try to, like, screw people over.
Yeah.
Because, like, you get a bunch of people tossing money, like, at these companies so that they're insured in case something happens.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing happens, then these companies make a lot of money. If something does happen, and something will happen, then they make a little bit less money.
Yeah.
And so the more they screw people out, like, just whatever, if they can come up with some excuse as to not cover whatever issue that they have,
Yeah.
then they make more money doing that. So, like, the system of insurance, it's basically encourages the company to try to kick as much people, like, not kick people off their service, but to prevent them from using the service.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know the solution to that. Like, one thing I was thinking about is telling me, like, medical loans,
Mm-hmm.
because if there's like a separate kind, like, well, the problem, I can already see the problem with medical loans is because loans are based off of your credit score, and so like, if you have a bad credit score, then you're just not going to get covered.
Right.
And so, yeah, in that regard, you're better off dealing with the insurance and whatnot, and just try not to get screwed over by them. And so, like, maybe there's like a separate like credit score specifically for medicine or
yeah. Dude, do you ever study? I mean, I know that you're reading voraciously. I just don't know what the content is. But do you oh shit! I had a good challenge for you, but
for the record, I don't read voraciously.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I mean I read articles.
How do you know all the information you spit out a day?
Well, I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, specifically Scott Horton when it comes to U.S. foreign policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen to that a lot, and I'll, when it comes to reading, I'll go to antiwar.com.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Horton says that you should go to antiwar.com every day, but like I don't do that every day. I go there every so often.
So you don't like this war in Ukraine?
No, I do not. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but no, like it is. I'm not saying that Putin should not be opposed, but he should be opposed by other Europeans because this is a situation that's happening in Europe. Yeah. And so Europeans should be at the forefront. They should be dealing with this. Americans should have little to no role in this because.
What if they missile the hell up? What if they shoot missiles and bomb the hell out of Paris and London? Like,
Paris can defend itself from Russia. Like Russia does not have a good track record for invading countries.
Right, but their track record's very long time ago, you know.
No, it's a current track record. Like they.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, they lost in Afghanistan. They lost all kinds of places. It's like they don't have a good track record for invading countries. Like they can deal with like poor countries like Syria, you know. But as far as like first world countries like that are in Europe, like if Europeans they band together to defend themselves from Russia, then they can defend themselves.
Yeah, why should we be involved?
Yeah, exactly. Why should we be involved?
Because we make lots of money when there's war.
Not us. Like companies like Raytheon, Boeing, they make a lot of money from this war. Like they're making a lot of money from.
But they can support whoever, you know, like they can give money to Biden for his next election if he's alive.
Yeah, there's a lot of politicians that get a lot of money from these weapons manufacturers. I remember Liz Cheney. I think she's a representative of Wyoming. She was talking about like how we should like stay in Afghanistan. We shouldn't be pulling out. And instead of like trying to like argue against that or anything, I just kind of like looked up like her donors, and like it was like Raytheon, and I think Boeing, and some other places. They weren't like the top donors, but they're in like I think they're in like the top 10 of her donors. You know, so like these like weapon manufacturers are just buying off politicians to keep these wars going. And it's most Democrats and Republicans. It's not just like one party is a war party, the other party is not.
And I think people out there are worried about this. I think no one's showing that they're worried about it. But when you go to sleep at night and you know there's a huge world war that could be imminent, you know, there's some stress that's going to come out of that, I think. Because Putin is just a maniac. He's a sociopath. He's a sociopath.
Well, yeah, him and every other leader is like very, very sociopathic. They can have no qualms slaughtering a shit ton of people and then going to sleep at night without any issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
You got George W. Bush going around giving speeches and whatnot. Like, do you think that guy has shame? Do you think that guy ever like stays up at night wondering like? Do you think he's kept up at night after?
No, not at all.
Done?
Not at all, because he's rich. He grew up without consequences in his life.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, Putin is a bad guy. Putin is evil, but we shouldn't pretend like our leaders are like good guys because they're not.
They're not.
And so the thing is, like, there are a lot of people who. It seems like a lot of these people just now start paying attention. Like, I'll follow people on Twitter who would otherwise be arguing about, like, censorship or anime titties or, like, some other kind of, like... I'm not saying that none of those things are important, but they'll just be arguing about other stuff. And now they're, like, talking about foreign policy, like, particularly U.S. foreign policy.
Yeah.
When it's like, okay, these people just now got here. They just now start paying attention. And all they're doing is just listening to, like, the mainstream media and just drinking in hook, line, and sinker. But then we oppose what they've been saying. They're like, oh, you're just listening to Russian propaganda. It's like, dude, you're listening to American propaganda. Don't try to, like, lecture me about who's listening to what kind of propaganda. And, like, when I talk about, like the coup that happened in 2014, there is concrete evidence that the United States was involved in a coup in Ukraine in 2014. But people want to be, oh, that's Putin's talking point. Like, there is an audio recording that's been leaked. You can listen to Jessica Newland basically picking who's going to be in which position in the new Ukrainian government. So it's kind of frustrating when people try to, like, deny reality like that.
People are pretty sick, man. I was just talking with my mother this morning, and I was telling her, and more, I think that this... Have you heard of the book? One of those existential fellows wrote a short story about people at a dinner party, right? And the doors are shut, so they're, like, in an inner chamber. And they realize slowly that they're actually in hell. And that the people they're with, the people near them, the things that bring them down, those things are punishment. But the thing is, this could be hell. I tend to think, I have thought this since I was 15, that we are in a digital simulation.
You're the first person who thought about that.
I know I'm not the first person.
There are a lot of people who think that we're in a simulation. But
I was thinking about that in 1995.
When did The Matrix come out?
Before that.
Yeah.
Because I remember The Matrix came out and I was like, what the fuck? Those are my ideas. I wouldn't watch those movies because of that. The first time I watched a movie about that was like 5 or 6 years later.
Yeah, like, I don't think we're in hell at all. Like, there's way too many good things going on.
Yeah.
For us to be in hell.
But I only think about the negative. There's awful things happening in our own city, man. There's fucking homeless people asking for change at intersections. On each intersection. It's fucked. We shouldn't have that. But, what I mean is we should have a way to help those people. I don't mean they're a nuisance. I mean, they're fine. I don't care about them wanting money, but I feel like we have the resources to fucking have a safe house or some sort of thing like that for people who don't have anywhere to live. There might be resources that I'm not thinking of because I'm completely ignorant about the topic, but I do see a lot of homeless people.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot. I used to deliver pizzas downtown.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of homeless people walking about, out and about.
It's horrible.
Like San Francisco is...
the worst.
Yeah, it's a lot worse. I remember I was like, you can't walk down the street without like a bunch of homeless people.
You know, it was like San Francisco, Portland, Maine, where I lived.
Mm.
There were bums everywhere. Everywhere. Like, I would say that they made up maybe even close to 1% of the population. Like, there was just a lot of them. And some of them were violent. Not violent, but aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to be on your best behavior. I had some guy approach me once, and he was, like, being really sketchy. He was a lot taller than me, so he was, like, getting and like, puffing his chest out and getting towards me and stuff. And he's trying to tell me that he's a Vietnam veteran and that I should have a heart. And and he says, I have no shame, I have no, these people who do this, they have no shame.
Mm-hmm.
They literally have to get rid of the feeling of shame because they have to do it. But he says he's shameless, and that's right. It's like, what will a human being turn to when they're completely homeless,
I think part of the issue is that there's a lot of regulations on, like, housing. And so that raises the cost of making housing.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, there are people who say, like, oh, well, there's so many churches in the world, in the United States, why don't they just let homeless sleep on their property? And, like, I forgot what this was, but, like, in some state, like, this church got fined for letting homeless sleep on their property.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's just plenty of laws that get. I'm not saying that's the only problem, but it's part of the problem where, like, there are laws that get in the way of homeless people finding a place to live. And, like, I think in California, this artist, he made a bunch of like mini houses for homeless people to sleep in, and then he got like fined like thousands of dollars.
All right, dude, can you sit there?